Hello, my friends, and welcome back into Studio B. My name is Jyoti Bainey, and this is an approximately 30-minute yin yoga practice all about coming back to the body as a home. We are all familiar with the phrase, there's no place like home. And our body is, in fact, our home for our entire lifetimes, no matter what changes or uncertainties or travels that we go through, the body is our home. And so we're going to be reestablishing that, visiting self-acceptance, gentleness, comfort, and trust, all within the body as home. Let's begin by coming into a child's pose, please. And you can completely decide whether the knees are really wide or more narrow. As you can see, I'm bringing in my bolster for an added element of support in this opening shape. Draping the spine right over the pillow, and you can turn your head to whatever side feels most comfortable. And then noticing if there's any place in the body that is feeling resistant to coming into the pose. Maybe resisting stillness. Maybe just feeling a bit agitated or unsure. And just see if you can acknowledge that, giving it space to be here. Just allowing it to be as it is. Knowing that we practice moving quickly and productively all the time, and so rest also takes practice. Slowing down and being still also requires practice. We'll be working with a very simple mantra throughout the practice today. And so as you inhale, you might silently say to yourself, the body is always with me. And as you exhale, the body is my home. Inhaling, the body is always with me. And exhaling, the body is my home. The body is always with me. The body is my home. Giving yourself about 30 more seconds to just be as you are in the home of your body. Allowing yourself one more breath here. And then slowly using the hands as anchors of support to slowly lift the torso. Maybe taking a breath or two just to sit upright. We're going to begin to gracefully shift into Sphinx pose. So I'm going to move the bolster out of the way. I will not need it for this shape. As I come forward onto my belly, move this. Placing my elbows underneath my shoulders and my forearms out parallel to each other. And I do have my block because I often find a block to be supportive here in the Sphinx pose. Everything is optional in this practice, always. And just settling in here, and I often do just a really gentle body scan here, noticing how the spine is responding. If there's any pain or discomfort, I might widen the legs a bit more. And then allowing a sense of settling as the pelvis and the belly just soften into the mat. Relaxing and disengaging the muscles around the glutes, the legs, the calves, and the feet. And then if you find that you're getting everything that you want out of this Sphinx shape, there's no need to change anything. You could stay right here. If, however, you're interested in adding in a little something extra, I'll open up the offering of moving into half frog by sliding the right knee forward. And you could either keep the right foot near that left leg, or you could open it out so that the right knee is at sort of a right angle. And then I'm going to let my head settle on the surface of my block. Often when we think of an experience of being at home, it conjures emotions of comfort, of feeling like you belong and are accepted for your true self. There's a feeling when you're home of being able to show up as you are without masking anything or hiding anything. Knowing that it's a safe space to be your fullest and most authentic self. And so just noticing with a sense of curiosity, if you have the ability to experience those qualities of home within the boundaries of your own body. Inhaling, my body is always with me. And exhaling, my body is my home. We'll be making a transition to a spinal twist. I'm going to move the block block out of the way. I'm going to extend my left arm forward and then begin to just roll over the left side of my body, letting the back of my head drop towards the floor. And for me today, I'm just letting my right hand rest on the right side of my abdomen. You could also drop it to the floor or extend it out behind you. I'm just noticing how the twist lands in the body when we enter it from a slightly different shape of origin. So we often enter twists from the spine, from lying on the back. And so how does it feel to come into a twist when we enter it from the belly? And just noticing what parts of the body might be adjusting. And just allowing that adjustment to happen. Just watching it. Just observing what's happening in the interior of your home. Giving yourself one more breath here. And then slowly rolling the body back onto the belly and resting there for a few breaths. The body is always with me. The body is my home. We'll prepare to move back into Sphinx pose with that optional frog position. And from where you are, you'll simply lift up. I am going to turn around just so that you can see the shapes very clearly in my body. And so again, as you rise up into the Sphinx, checking in with how the spine is responding to the shape, and if you need to widen the legs into a wider V, allow that to happen. If you know that the Sphinx in and of itself is enough, you stay there. Allow that to be the shape that you're in. If you're wanting to invite in that half frog, then the left knee comes out. You let the left inner thigh melt in towards the floor. And then if you'd like to rest the head on a block or any supportive surface, you could do that as well. In the first half of today's mantra, the body is always with me. we are reminded of the unconditionality of the body. The unwavering presence, the omniscience of the body always being with us through every phase, every transition, every change. The body being a constant companion. We're reminded when we experience a sense of truly being at home, a feeling of being unconditionally accepted and loved, an experience of gentleness and grace as that home holds whatever it is that we're carrying. My body is always with me. My body is my home. Using the next couple of breaths, begin to prepare the body to move into the twist. Extending the right arm forward, rolling over the right side of the body, letting the back of the head fall onto the floor. And allowing that left hand to either rest on the left side of the rib cage, maybe dropping behind you onto the floor, or perhaps extending out and back. For many of us, our homes of origin may not embody these aspects of home that we've been naming in today's practice. Which makes our relationship with the body even more important. Knowing that we ourselves can establish this experience of unconditional acceptance, of gentleness, of belonging, of creating a space for all the parts of ourselves to exist freely and openly. But by learning to be in relationship with the body as our home, we can create that experience of home for ourselves. The body is always with me. My body is my home. Taking one more breath here. And then mindfully unwinding back onto the belly for just a couple of breaths to rest. As we prepare to come up, and place the palms underneath the shoulders and press to all fours. And you might find the body is needing some intuitive movement here. That might look like some cat and cows, some pelvic circles, some wagging of the tail. But just tuning in if the body's telling you it needs a little bit of nourishing, kind movement here. And then we'll set up for one final pose before Shavasana, which is going to be caterpillar pose with a slight variation today. So bring in your pillow or your bolster, or if you have a blanket, that could work as well. And we're going to place it underneath the knees, because today the caterpillar is not at all about the hamstrings. In fact, what we're going to do in today's variation is really focusing on digestion. So the digestive processes when we are stressed out for prolonged periods of time can get sluggish, slow, and also during the winter months. So depending on, no matter what time of year it is, if you're stressed, but especially if it's the winter months, this is a really nice orientation of this pose to help really nurture that digestive processes in the body. So finding that snuggling position underneath the knees, and then allowing the spine to drape itself over the legs. And just letting the head hang, the arms to land wherever they naturally land. And knowing that you don't need to do anything here other than to be here and to breathe. That the body itself and the breath itself are doing all of the work for you. It's much like the experience of when you come home and you set down your bags and you take off your coat and you collapse into the cushiest, comfiest couch. And there's this sense of a full body exhale. I'm home. I'm home. We'll take about 1 more minute here, letting the body breathe itself. Inhaling, my body is always with me. Exhaling, my body is my home. Without any rushing whatsoever, we'll begin making our way to Shavasana. And if you'd like to keep whatever prop situation you currently have underneath the knees, you are more than welcome to do so. And making your way onto the back, feeling free to cover yourself with a blanket if that feels of service. Repeating our affirmation of the day 3 times to drop us into the experience of Shavasana. My body is always with me. My body is my home. My body is always with me. My body is my home. My body is always with me. My body is my home. If you'd like to continue in Shavasana, feel free to hit pause and stay for as long as you like. If this is the time that you set aside for your practice, allow the breath to deepen and subtle movement to enter through the fingers and toes. And then in your own way, in your own time, begin to make your way back up to a comfortable seat. Seeing if you can reconnect to a position of stillness, locating the breath in the body. And we'll spend about 5 rounds of breath seated, observing the breath, welcoming in today's affirmation if that feels of service. My body is always with me. My body is my home. Begin to close today's practice. Maybe bringing the hands onto the body, just a gesture of gratitude for its presence. Thankful that it is our home. Now we'll close the practice with a peace chant. You can just absorb the vibration, or if you'd like to join with me from home, you're more than welcome to. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Shanti, Om. Please bring the palms of the hands together. Jai Shri Sakuru Maharaj Ki.